The year is 1999. You are flourishing as the best decade in history is coming to its end. Ah yes, the 90s. The age of the Matrix, Pokemon, Beanie Babies, Heaven's Gate Death Cult, Legends of the Hidden Temple, Tamagotchi, shopping malls, the unconstitutional siege of the Waco compound, and how could anyone forget? Furbies. But all good things must come to an end, and the end of the 90s is no different. Or was it? The new year is just around the corner, and you overhear two comically nerdy individuals talking about a sort of doomsday-level event outside of the computer room. You fight the urge to give them a swirly and bike home. But what is this on the evening news? A talking head is yapping about the same thing. Something about all computers simultaneously failing? You turn the TV off and grab the latest copy of Mad Magazine, only to see this. What is going on? You feel as if you're going mad. What is everyone talking about? What is... Hello again, my melanated kings and queens and shades in between. I'm Content Cone. Did you miss me? Of course you did. How could you resist this face? Today, I will be coddling you ever so softly as I attempt to explain the Y2K panic at the turn of the millennium. So get comfortable, grab your Capri Suns and sensory headphones, and relax while we explore... The Y2K panic, also called the Millennium Bug Scare, was a worldwide schizo meltdown in the late 1990s that had people believing computers and digital systems would fail when the date changed from December 31st, 1999 to January 1st, 2000. The issue came from the way many older computer programs stored their dates. They often only used the last two digits of a year. For example, the year 1999 would register as 99. When the year rolled over to 00, there was a concern that computers would interpret it as 1900 instead of 2000. If true, this would cause a myriad of unfortunate consequences, ranging from ATMs not working to allegedly summoning the Antichrist. Here's a few predictions that were made about what might happen when the new year came. Banks would miscalculate interests or fail completely, meaning that all of your savings and hard work could vanish overnight. The stock market would crash, making it rain investors on the concrete of Wall Street like the good old days. Naughty little ATM machines would spit out money for no other reason than being confused about what year it was. Power plants could malfunction, leading humanity into a global dark age void of electricity. All these new fancy 1990s cars with their internal computers and whatnot would no longer start. Air traffic control systems would fail, causing planes to rage quit mid-flight. Defense systems could trigger false alarms, starting a nuclear Armageddon. And many, many more.
Hi and welcome, I'm Kyle Kraska. It's the glitch that could spell disaster for millions of computers. Y2K has users unplugging their PCs and preparing for the end of the world.
The world as we know it could soon be destroyed, not by a great flood, but by the dreaded year 2000 computer bug that's become commonly known as Y2K.
I think it was man himself, short-sighted as he is, doing something that turned around and bit him a few years later.
Olmsted says he realized the devastating potential of the Y2K bug 2 years ago and started building a kind of millennial survival compound in the far reaches of the California desert. And just as in the days of Noah, many questioned his sanity, even his own family. Los Angeles computer expert Dina Tevis Ingram concedes that the worst scenario for the Y2K bug could indeed spell the kind of global disaster Olmsted fears.
We have doomsday, we have Armageddon. So you've got all of these databank systems and all of these investment and spreadsheet systems and payment systems and payroll systems in almost time collapse countdown.
Computers control everything from satellites to the military and the world's financial system. And if everything should go wrong, it could spell global disaster. It could also mean accidents in space, disaster in the air, chaos on the ground, and even an accidental nuclear launch.
It was a problem that was completely underestimated. And because it was so simple, Nobody took it seriously enough.
Like with any mass hysteria, a new microeconomy naturally formed around it. And for Y2K, it was the survival kit. Once armed with their Y2K survival kits, people felt prepared for the Mad Maxian world that was surely to come. People took this seriously, and you can still find some of these survival kits on eBay if you want a little piece of schizo history. Speaking of schizos, the religious evangelists of the time were having a field day with Y2K. Many religious groups, especially certain Christian fundamentalists, saw Y2K as a fulfillment of end times prophecy. They thought that the chaos from Y2K could trigger the rise of the Antichrist, lead to a global government New World Order, and mark the start of the Great Tribulation, which is a time of suffering before Christ's next respawn. Some churches even held special end-time seminars, warning people to repent, stockpile supplies, read their copy of The Hero and His Elf Bride Open a Pizza Parlor in Another World, and prepare for the rapture. Jack Van Impe, a famous TV evangelist, was a believer of the Y2K panic who broadcasted such fears through his Christian organization.
There's a biblical proverb worth remembering. It simply says, "To be forewarned is to be forearmed." There is, in fact, a range of practical strategies that you and your family can follow that will prepare you to meet the Y2K crisis with confidence. Keep in mind that this will be a much greater disaster for those who are not prepared.
It wasn't just the common man and the religious schizos that took this seriously, though. Companies and governments alike took some serious precautions when it came to this technological Armageddon. Companies started by identifying all computer systems, big and small. They had to find any system that used dates, and boy were there a lot of hidden ones. Once they found systems at risk, they either rewrote the old code, upgraded to newer software, or replaced old hardware completely. Banks, insurance companies, and airlines all needed major work. After implementing these updates, companies simulated the clock turning to January 1st, 2000. They tested financial transactions, air traffic control systems, electricity grid management, inventory and supply chains, etc., etc. They wanted to catch any failures before they became real-world disasters. Companies set up emergency response teams to be on call during the rollover. They stockpiled extra staff, creating backup copies of important data, and prepared manual workarounds in case technology failed. Big companies ran public ads reassuring customers that they were Y2K ready and that your money would be safe with them. They wanted to prevent mass panic withdrawals, flight cancellations, and other kinds of overreactions from the public. It's estimated that globally, over $300 to $500 billion was spent on Y2K preparations. Everyone prepared the best that they could, and all that was left to do was to wait for that fateful ball to drop, ushering in the new year. Would society as we know it crumble? Would the Antichrist really be born? Would the rapture leave all non-believers behind? No. As it turns out, nothing really happened. In all fairness, some credit cards wouldn't work because a few systems saw them as expired, but it was a relatively easy fix. The most insane thing that happened was a nuclear plant in Japan stopped recording data for the first hour, but nothing like Chernobyl. Some good did come from the panic, however. Governments opened new lines of communication in preparation of Y2K, showing that we can all get along if shit truly does hit the fan. People started to take self-preservation more seriously after realizing just how fragile our societal experiment is. And a lot of previously outdated systems had to be updated for Y2K. So what can we learn from this? Stockpile soup cans for the end of days? Ignore TV evangelists when they stop taking their schizo pills? Harden yourself against mass hysteria campaigns? I'm not sure. And I'm too busy reading The Hero and His Elf Bride Open a Pizza Parlor in Another World to think too hard about it. Goodbye.
I'm on my way, so don't close that gate. If I don't make that, then I'll switch my flight, and I'll be right back at it till the end of the night. take me back to the days before this was a job, before I got paid, before it ever mattered what I had in my bank. And back when I was trying to get a tip of Subway,